Wow. Yes.
ba 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 ba. Yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba 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 yam, ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, ya ba 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 bam. Yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba 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 yam, ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba 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 bam. Yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba 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 yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam. Ba 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 ba. Yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, yai ba bim bam bam, ya ba 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 ba, ya ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, ya ba 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 ba. Please join me, yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, yai ba bim bam bam, ya ba 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 ba, yai ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba 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 bam. Yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, yai ba bim bam bam, ya ba 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 ba, yai ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba 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 ba. Yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam bam, ya ba ba ba, yai ba bim bam, yai ya ba bim bam, ya ba 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 bam. Ya ba 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 ba.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And welcome to all of you who are here in the sanctuary that are not trying to get the way through a flood that's out here. The water is incredible. Welcome to those of you who are at the sanctuary of your home or in your car, or wherever you're finding yourself at this moment of Shabbat. I'm Robert Davis. I'm one of the rabbis here at the temple, and tonight I'm joined by Rabbi Loiben, Cantor Porat. We're so glad to welcome the cantor here who's just beginning his journey here at the temple, our musical director Alan Caves, and Miguel and Craig, and glad that all of you are able to be here. Shabbat has arrived. Thank God. We need this pause from work and school and stress and aggravation. We need to pause from judgmentalism and the pressure of accomplishment. Shabbat simply asks us to breathe and luxuriate in the blessings of life and living. What an incredible idea that we came up with. And for this brief day, to see ourselves and embrace the entirety of our being as children of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, and we all have a right to be here. Let us welcome Shabbat. Let us welcome Shabbat. And so I invite Phyllis and Marty Winston to come on up here to lead us in Kiddush and Candles, which is found beginning on page 2.
Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Now we turn to page 4 in preparation for Kiddush.
Vayehi Erev, Vayehi Boker, Yom HaShishi. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. Vayechalu Hashamayim V'horetz, V'kol Tzevoam, V'yechayel Elohim V'yom HaShvi'i, Malachto Asher Osor. V'shivat B'yom HaShvi'i, V'kol Malachto Asher Osor. Yivorech Elohim Es Yom HaShvi'i, V'kadesh Ki Bo Shavas Makol, Melachto Asher, Baruch Elohim La'aso. The heaven and the earth were finished, and in all their array. In the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
L'chaim. And as they're having a l'chaim, I'm going to ask us to turn to page 8. Let's read together page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We continue with Psalm 96, page 13.
A new song from Jerusalem to you. Shiru l'Adonai. Try it. Shiru l'Adonai. Shir chadash. Shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai barechu shemo. Shiru l'Adonai barechu shemo. Basru גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
Lechado D, page 20, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, as we formally welcome the Shabbat.
בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing for Baruch Hu, the call to worship, page 28.
אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. יא נה 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 נה
Page 30.
Please be seated. בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים. בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אדוני צבאות שמו, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אדוני צבאות שמו. לה 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 ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו אלחי, וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב אבי.
Together, page 32. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we'll meditate on your laws and your commandments. We'll rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Take a moment now to meditate on words of Shema, to think about our connection with each other, with all people in the universe that ever existed and that will ever exist, all time and all space.
Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Ve'ahavta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך, ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Our next prayer is Michamocha. It's found on page 40. The last part of this prayer, the concluding blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Gaal Yisrael, says, "Blessed are you, the one who has redeemed Israel." We say this blessing in the past as if everyone has been redeemed, as if the world has been redeemed. We know that this is just a partial truth. The idea is that in some ways we all have been redeemed. The world has been redeemed, and yet there's more to do. In some ways, we're all not yet redeemed as well. Having individual personal freedom does not exempt us from the ongoing process of bringing freedom to those who do not yet have it. This prayer, in many ways, like almost all the prayers, is aspirational. We want this redemption to be here. But redemption is a continuum, and let us move forward. Michamocha.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, la la Eli, ya la 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 Eli, ya la 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 Eli, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 Eli, ya la 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 Eli, ya la 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 Eli, ya la 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 la. מי כמוך, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. Like you, Adonai, who is like you? Adonai, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא.
Page 44. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
ושמו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Try and sing with me. ושמו בני ישראל את השבת, clapping as loud as well. את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לדורותם ברית עולם, לדורותם ברית עולם.
Now we come to the central part of the prayer service, HaTefillah. It's also the part of the service that requires the most instructions. We're going to begin on page 46 and then continue on the even number pages. And then after we do the first couple of prayers together, be time for each of us to have our own silent meditation, our own reflection, the prayers in the prayer book through page 63, or the prayers of your own hearts. And then we'll conclude that silent meditation with the prayer Yehi L'Ratzon, which is found on page 62. So I ask you to please rise for the Amidah.
Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. רצון אמרי פי וגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי לפניך, אדוני, צורי וגואלי
Shabbat Shalom. It's my favorite season. Not rainy season, but mango season. I didn't even know that this was my favorite season until I moved here, and what a true joy it is to discover this love. When I first came down to look for an apartment in the beginning of summer, over 4 years ago, the Revo so generously housed me, and even more generously, shared some delectable mangoes that had come from their backyard. I can still remember the taste of heaven today. And since moving here, I have had the joy of consuming so many fresh local mangoes from inside and outside of the congregation. And I welcome many more. Yesterday, I met a friend to walk to dinner in our neighborhood. And she surprised me with the best kind of surprise, a precious mango that had come from our friend's house down south. She said that she picked the best one to give me because the rest had black spots on them. While I was grateful for this little gift, I told her that I would happily eat one covered in black spots too. They're still just as scrumptious. My friend meant well, of course. She just wanted to give me the best looking fruit. But this is bigger than the fruit, I think. How often do we look at a few spots and judge or worse, discard something without really knowing its substance? This week's Torah portion begins with a similar story of a black spot, or absence of, rather. In Parshat Chukat, God commands Moses and Aaron to instruct the Israelites to find a para adama, a red cow, tmimah, perfect, roughly translated, one without any marks or blemishes. This cow will be taken and slaughtered outside the camp in the presence of Eleazar the priest, who will then use it as an offering for purification. While most commentaries from ancient to present are caught up in the paradox that those doing the slaughtering become ritually impure, but the sprinkling of the heifer's blood is ritually purifying to those on whom it's sprinkled, I am stuck on the idea that the animal itself has to be tamimah, which, as I mentioned, translates to perfect, or some might say complete, or without fault. What does this word mean in essence? What does this word mean in essence? Is it that the commanded search is for the perfect cow? This has puzzled scholars for centuries. Rashi, one of our most prolific medieval commentators, is particularly bothered, and we know that because he has a lot to say on this particular word. He first writes that the two words, red and perfect, are the ones that go together as a descriptor for cow. Not that it's a red cow that's perfect, rather a cow perfect in respect to its redness. So if there are two black hairs on it, or any color other than red, it is unfit for the rite here described. This idea is helpful as far as instruction or imagery, though who has the time to comb through every single hair on a heifer? It seems absurd, like something that could potentially never happen, because perhaps no one or nothing is just that perfect, and maybe that's the point. But Rashi does not stop there. He comments again, but this time just on the word tamimah itself. And he says that it's an allusion to the Israelites who were perfect, but through it, the calf became morally maimed. Let this perfect animal come and atone for them so they may regain their state of perfection. This poor cow is really headed to the ultimate sacrifice. So the recipe here is that we take this innocent cow, faultless from the outside anyway, who knows about its eyesight or its digestive system, and we kill it to sprinkle the blood on us in order to make ourselves perfect on the inside. We are essentially purifying ourselves by something that's perfect, so we take on the essence of wholeness or perfection so that we too become whole, ritually pure, or perfect. It's both weirdly superficial and super deep. And my favorite part about the commentaries on this verse was that it doesn't matter if it makes sense. We were commanded to do so, and so we do, or we did, or did we ever? But in the Reform movement specifically, and other movements as well, that isn't always the things that work for us. Sure, we may strive to act according to Torah and Jewish tradition as best we can, but in the search to find the meaning of life, we try our best to find the deeper meaning in mitzvot. The idea of something being morally perfect, or of trying to be perfect in deeds, is not exactly a Jewish goal. Being a good person, sure, and doing the right thing most of the time, absolutely. But we have Yom Kippur every single year precisely because we know that perfection is not possible. So why, therefore, do we put the cow's blemishless appearance on a pedestal? The purification in regards to the red heifer in this Torah portion is meant to ritually purify people from their sins or spots on the inside. And that's a worthy cause, one that's fruitful to individual growth and development and helps people to become healthy humans. Judaism has many vegan alternative frameworks for this purification today. We can engage in that thoughtful work with self-reflection, prayer, connecting to community, and that's just to name a few. But my question in reading about the red heifer and my friend's comments about the spotted mango is, how much are people working to perfect the outside how much are people working to perfect the outside rather than loving the blemishes? Instead of striving for an idealized external image, which is the prevailing obsession in today's society, I wonder how we can cultivate a mindset of appreciating the visible imperfections that make us unique. It's astonishing how much effort we put into concealing our own blemishes, instead of taking pride in our natural state or the scars and beauty marks we've acquired along the way. How can we shift our focus toward embracing our external flaws instead of attempting to conceal them? These marks define who we are. In a world saturated with products designed to conceal, in a society where filtered images are employed to eliminate perceived imperfections, it becomes effortless to feign flawlessness. Because guess what? That cow, perfect in redness and blemish-free, has still never been found. Not to this day, not since that verse was written. Let us not attempt to be that red heifer, the one that had not a hair out of place without a mark on it. My blessing for all of us on this Shabbat is to engage in the hard and holy work to purify our souls while cherishing the beautiful physical forms that we have been gifted by God. Shabbat Shalom. And at this time, we turn our hearts and our minds to those in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, and spirit. If you are thinking of someone in your family or someone that you know or anyone in our community or in the world who could use our prayers for healing, I invite you to say their names as my hand moves around the room. We hold their names in our hearts as we pray for them. Refuah Shlema.
Elena refa nala, Elena refa nala, Elena refa nala, Elena refa nala. Try and sing that with me. Elena refa nala, Elena refa nala, Elena refa nala, Elena refa nala. Repeat after me. Mi shebera, mi shebera, Avotenu together. Elena Refana, 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 Elena Refana.
Page 282, we continue with Elenu. Please rise. We face toward the east, toward Jerusalem, towards Israel, towards Shalom, toward wholeness.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Take a moment now to remember all those who came before us, those who may have died in years past at this season, those who may have died in recent days. As a congregation, we remember the more than 6 million Jews that were murdered in the Shoah. Remember those who died in the struggle to reestablish the modern state of Israel and who've died since that time, making sure our homeland exists for us and for Jews everywhere. We remember those who perished in the name of liberty, freedom, justice, and righteousness. And we remember all the innocent victims of hatred, ignorance, terrorism, disease, violence, and natural disasters. On this Shabbat, we remember friends and family whose yortzites are being observed and whose names have lovingly been inscribed on plaques which are in our alcove of remembrance. We remember Jack Bernstein, Betty Cooper, Milton Gaynor, Edith S. Gelber, Sheldon Gerson, Max I. Irelson, Esta Levinson, Arthur M. Lowell, Melanie Mass, Sadie Stella Preeter, Frank G. Schreiber, Leon Schlesinger, J. Bernard Spector, Sam Tenenbaum. As well, we remember the following yortzites that are being observed at this time: Sally Alperstein, Berta Morris, Irving Berger, Edwin Cullen Bowers, Joyce Brayman, Mary Budebo, Marcia Dower, Esther Giller, George Gran, Claire Howard, Emmanuel B. Katz, Samuel Curson, Charles Krieger, Rose Krulik, Bessie Leibowitz, George Lyle Lindeman, Lazaro Livovich, Evelyn Lowell, Jerry Mandel, Zwi Matlinger, Sam Morber, Herbert Pross, Lynn Peel Rice, Richard Allen Rose, Marilyn Rywell, Eric Randolph Sanders, Burton Sherman, Corrine Stein, Morris Turkin, Marcia Phyllis Wald, Stanley Wassman, Judith Wilkinson, and Zena Wynn. And we remember friends and family died in recent days, and their families remain in the shloshim of mourning, in the 30-day period of mourning. We remember Michael Tesler, Albert Soriano, Ruth Bleicher, Danny Agnew, and Charlene Packer. If there's a name that I haven't mentioned and you're in a period of mourning, you're saying Kaddish, you have yortzeit, I'll ask you to please rise and mention those names out loud, and please remain standing as we're going to join together for Kaddish in just a moment. Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May the memory of all the righteous be a blessing as we rise and with one voice recite Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chaye echon uv'yom echon uv'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei kudusha berichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all of you and more, and comfort all who are bereaved, and send healing to all who are saddened, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to invite up Amy Handlin, right? Okay, great. Amy Handlin, a member of our board, to bring greetings on behalf of the congregation. You didn't need a boat to get here, Amy?
I actually did take a vote. Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There actually are very few announcements tonight, so before I read them, I just wanted to share an observation as we all head into this holiday weekend. And it is a wonderful holiday weekend and very appropriate for us to go to fireworks and barbecues and so on to celebrate the birthday of this wonderful country. But I wanted to urge us all to not forget a very much lower profile, but also critical point in history that occurs over this weekend. My guess is that none of you have been invited to a July 3rd barbecue. But in fact, on July 3rd in 1863, the Union armies soundly defeated the Army of the Confederacy in the Battle of Gettysburg. And historians recognize that as the turning point in the Civil War, and likewise the turning point in America's fight to abolish slavery. And when I was thinking about that and other key low-profile turning points in history, I was thinking that we have a lot of those kind of turning points in our own lives that really sort of become enormously consequential only in hindsight. And for me, one of those turning points was joining Temple Beth Shalom. To be honest, I sort of joined on a whim. I thought, nice people, pleasant rabbis, the pretty building, nice programs, whatever. Little did I know that ultimately my membership in this community would be the foundation for me to build a whole new life in a whole new place. So I hope, as we go forward, that, whether or not we're going to be at fireworks or barbecues, we take the time to think about those turning points, and I hope for all of us that many, if not all of those turning points, lead us toward what we learn about every single Shabbat, year in and year out, and that is the values of Torah. Truth and knowledge and faith and righteousness, kindness as well. So with that, the very brief list of announcements I have here tomorrow, Saturday, July 1st, we have what we have every Shabbat, which is Torah study beginning at 9:30 a.m., followed by our Shabbat services at 10:30 a.m. The temple offices and school will be closed on July 3rd and 4th in observance of the federal holiday. And the clergy and staff wish you a healthy, safe, and happy 4th of July. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Barbecue. double barbecue weekend, I guess. So let's conclude our prayers before we go out and get some sweetness. We're going to conclude on page 321 with Adon Olam. And thank you, Cantor. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you,
Rabbi.
Alan. Thank you.
Rabbi.
Let's all rise and let's sing together and pray a little Adon Olam.
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Hashem Alach,
Hashem Alach,
Terem Tov,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir
Yitzir
Nivra,
Nivra,
Le'et Nasa,
Le'et Nasa,
Le'et
Le'et
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Gidot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Noah Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, Ve'hu Yeh V'Divra Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Hashem Alach,
Hashem Alach,
Terem Tov,
B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra,
Le'et Nasa,
Le'et Nasa, Le'et Zachor,
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Echad, Ve'et Sheni, Le'hamshilo Le'achira Adon Olam, Ve'li Reshit, Ve'li Tachlit, Ve'lo Ha'oz Ve'hamizra Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Hashem
Hashem
Alach,
Alach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra,
Et Nasa,
Le'et Nasa,
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Eli, V'chai Goali, V'tzor Chami V'tzara Adon Olam, Ve'hu Nisi U'manosi, V'natosi Ve'yom Echad Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Hashem Alach,
B'terem Kol, Et Nasa,
Le'et Nasa,
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam,
Ve'yado,
Avdi Ruchi, Ve'et Ishan Ve'ayra Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi, Keviati, Adon Ani Ve'lo Ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Hashem Alach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra,
Et Nasa,
Le'et Nasa, Le'et Zachor,
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Great minds.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, everyone.